told you earlier that people write in all the time and ask us questions at our website, which is whatsonsports.com. And today we're going to fire into our mailbag and answer some of those questions. I have 3 questions that were pulled out by our producer. I have not read these questions. I have never seen these questions. I will look at them. I will answer with probably at least a fairly honest response. Here we go. You talked about Randy Moss being the greatest wide receiver of all time, in your opinion. But who do you think is the best wide receiver in football today? We already talked about this earlier, and at least we talked about him earlier, and I cannot possibly go against anybody else except Davante Adams this year. Davante Adams has no real threat on the other side of the ball, and I cannot possibly figure out how this guy's always open. I cannot possibly figure out how somebody like Michael Schuessler knows that he's going to score the first touchdown of every game, yet somehow he's never double covered in the early parts of the game. It's just amazing to me how good this guy is. And I truly believe that we are in an age where we will not see number 1 receivers anymore. I believe the game has become so spread out, and these weapons that everyone's using have become so multifaceted that I don't believe you're going to see these number 1 Randy Moss, Jerry Rice, Terrell Owens type of guys anymore. You're seeing the last wave of them right now, and Davante Adams is at the very, very top of it. In my opinion, he is right now the best wide receiver in all of football. Next question. The NBA is really my favorite sport, and the Heat are my favorite team. I just don't think that they can possibly match what they accomplished last year. What do you think of the Heat's chance of making it all the way back to the championship this year? So I am actually also a Miami Heat fan. I grew up in Pittsburgh, like I said, moved to Miami when I was 19, never had a basketball team. Miami Heat were brand new. I jumped on board, became a fan. I really enjoy the Miami Heat. I like the Miami Heat a lot. And I truly think that they are one of the best teams in the East. I think the one thing the Heat have going for them that a lot of teams don't is the Heat are built for the playoffs. So if you pay attention to the NBA season, there's normally 82 games this year. They're only playing 72. Throughout the course of the season, there's not a lot of defense. Towards the back quarter maybe of the NBA season, you'll see defense. And in the playoffs, defense goes to another level. These guys are truly showing you that throughout the regular course of the regular year, they're not playing hardcore defense. They get to the playoffs, it's a whole nother game. And the Heat are built for that. The Heat are built to be a playoff team. So can they do it again? Absolutely. I think the Miami Heat definitely have an opportunity to do it again. The Miami Heat has one of the more complete rosters in the Eastern Conference Finals, or bust for them. Okay, that's a little comment from the peanut gallery there. I don't disagree. I think the Heat definitely have a great roster. I also truly believe that Pat Riley will make a move somewhere around the All-Star break. He will make a move to try to bring in somebody who is a true scorer, because that's kind of what that team misses. They miss a true, I'm going to get to the basket when I need to get to the basket type of score. Jimmy Butler can do it on occasion. Obviously, Bam is a decent scorer. They've got shooters on the outside, but they don't have that guy that everyone's like, oh no, he's cutting inside and can then dish back out that you're truly afraid of. And I think if they can get that guy, someone that plays maybe a shooting guard or can fill in as a swing guard, swing forward. I think that's the guy that they really need. Watch for Pat Riley to make one more move before the season's over. All right, we have time for one last question. With all the talk of the NFL going to a 17-game season and expanding the playoffs to 8 teams, I fear they may ruin the game in a cash grab. Why do these sports leagues have to get greedy? 162 games in basketball and 82 games in the NBA is just plain boring. I guess the question is, it's a strange question. Why do these sports leagues have to get greedy? Okay, listen, they're not. They're running a business. And it's hard to run a business knowing that you can only be open 16 days out of the year and other places can be open 82 days out of the year. It's very difficult. So when you see an opportunity to be able to expand your season, you do that. Now, I will say this. I believe the NFL is very, very close to a place where they could be entering burnout for their fans. And I just follow along here. The NFL has done an amazing job, in my opinion, of making sure that we are engaged in their product almost all year long. There's a small period right after the trade deadline and the free agency and the I'm sorry, not the trade deadline, the free agency in the summertime. There's a small little window there where there's nothing going on. And we kind of get that moment to decompress and say, okay, no football. We can relax for a minute. No big deal. But other than that, the NFL keeps that product in your face all year long. Their draft is second to none. We literally plan our week around an NFL draft that happens on a Thursday night. And some of us watch it Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. They have done an amazing job marketing the fact that free agency starts this week and people get excited about it and everyone's talking about it. Now, granted, it's the number one game in the entire country. So it's helpful for talking heads to pick it as a topic. But if they didn't keep it so engaging and so exciting, they would obviously not be as popular as they are. So I give them a lot of props and a lot of hoorahs for doing what they do. So if anyone can figure out a way to pull off a 17-game season, I believe they can without it getting boring. I do have a little bit of trepidation about an 8-team playoff. 8 teams in the West. 8 teams in the NFC, 8 teams in the AFC. That's 16 teams in the playoffs. There's only 32 teams. That's half the teams make it to the playoffs. I'm not sure I love it. Now, with the first year we see it, it might be amazing. But at this point right now, I'm not sure I love it. Will it ruin the game? No. Will it offend me a little bit? I love football. So the more I can get, the better. I'm fine with all of it.